Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to mix things up a little bit, but only for a short time I feel like. For I have been getting a lot of comments regarding the Adeptus Mechanicus, and I may be a little bit biased with them, mainly because I've been playing, Warhammer 40k Mechanicus as well on the channel. So I have a lot of interest in playing more of Mechanicus in both variations. So don't worry, we'll get back to him soon, and maybe next time I'll experiment with the 5 cruiser fleet just to get a feel for how it is, since truth be told, I almost played exclusively the battleship and 3 cruisers, and didn't really play around too much with the 5 cruisers, since I like the durability the battleship has just because of the critical hit resistance. Because keep in mind, do we have an easy example of that, or a easy way to represent it? Yeah, these lance turrets will work. So 10% critical hit chance. How the resistance is supposed to work is that light cruisers and frigates will get the full chance. Cruisers, that's reduced down to 0.8, so basically this will be just over 8% chance of critically hitting. And battleships, with their, 0.2 reduction or resistance rating, this will be just over 2%. Just to emphasize just how resilient it is, for them to at least avoid critical hits. And since I'm relying on long range type of attrition war type of games, being able to deflect as many critical hits as possible goes without saying is essential. Although I will play with the cruisers in the future, but for now, I am wanting to experiment with the lance base, the particle whip type of Necron fleet, since we don't really see a lot of this surprisingly, even with the predominance of the Arc Propagator, which you think would synergize incredibly well, at least with the battle cruiser. Sure, I may not get that many particle whips as compared to like 2 Karns and maybe a Kopej, but it still synergizes pretty well with that type of fleet, and it gives me enough points for a handful of frigates. I may not have the Ancestral Terror or whatever this ability is called. Yeah, that kind of helps with my morale, but still remains to be seen how useful this is on its own, since we don't really have a rally, and against Mechanicus with the Mecha Dominator, it's still a question if this even works at negating that in any way. Yeah, I almost feel like it should, since it is a morale type of ability after all, just not one meant for getting your fleet in line. Either way, I'm going to play with this for a bit. Don't know if I'm going to do 2 videos with Necrons, but we're going to at least try this one and see how we do. Well, this is going to be interesting. I was kind of expecting, well, I wasn't expecting a mirror match with that said, but in theory I could be okay just because of the armor piercing. Hold that thought. Yeah, for some reason whenever I hit enter it seemed like it was minimizing or trying to go to windowed mode. There we go. But in theory this could be decent damage wise. It just goes back to what I said about the attrition wars. If blue is utilizing cairns, I'm going to have a hard time doing damage to them. I really do want to use a lightning link just because that's so easy to punish at least an opponent Necron player. Is there anything else that could be useful with that said? Regeneration might be another one, but since I'm kind of relying on lances a lot, I don't really want to get in close, which is also a lot of the reason why I don't want to use the transdimensional bolt. I think my main strategy is try to murder their ships, or at least a ship, as quickly as possible. So that way maybe I can get an advantage in the attrition war. And I do have Arc Propagator, but odd thing is, well, actually I can regenerate health decently, so I think I want to keep stances. It's if I'm dealing with disruption overcharge and things like that I was going to say my stances do almost nothing for me here, because reload doesn't help with lances, it only helps with my inertialist drive, which could be a factor, and dispersed lightning arc is kind of pointless against this fleet too, or at least with this fleet. But I do have kind of the range advantage. It's just a question of how well I utilize that. And let's see, first up we're seeing maybe 3 Scourges. I'm wondering. At least it's been either lots of arc propagators or scourges has been my experience so far. Because otherwise it would be 2 cairns or 2 tomb ships and a light cruiser of some kind being hit in the mist. So I don't know what to think. But I might as well start firing these and maybe I'll get lucky and do a little bit of damage. Unlikely, but if these are scourges, I have an easy way to deal with them with the Star Pulse wave. I just gotta watch heading. Yeah, I don't need to. I may be forfeiting these points a bit, but I have the damage potential to help. At least at range. Since I don't think this battle is gonna be ended on by objective unless Blue really doesn't want to fight me. Now, with that said, not really much else to really say, I suppose. And I'll let my cruisers grab that point. Maybe it'll give me a little bit of element of surprise, slightly. Maybe. Although okay, there's the fighters there. And this is always an annoying little bug, having the blips being hit in, even though I see them on the mini-map. Either way. Let me I know there's one in the gas cloud. I want to try and engage them if they try for this objective here. I think is my plan. These are battle cruisers, so they're going to grab the points relatively quickly. And that should easily miss because I'm turning.
You have seized a strategic area.
We know where the flagship is. These got the points. And I did take a little bit of damage. I kind of forgot that those things also shoot down my hull. And I did not get to pay attention to the silhouettes of what those ships even were, but it goes without saying that if they're scourges, I should be in a huge, well, that was not even conveniently aimed, but it works. Oh, we're going to be doing this type of game, are we? We're mimicking each other. Now, I do have... Well, I don't even need to reload, I just need to recharge. Because right now there's only 2 ships versus mine. Sure, I take a little bit of damage, but let's have all 3 hit this one point. Now, Arc Propagator, try and minimize that damage some. Because they already prioritized this target here. So, let's spread out that damage because of that. Now, this is going to be a little bit silly. Okay, and they have a Karn ship as well. Just keep trying to do damage and... Oh well, let's reveal this. This will help some. And dang it, that's the one thing I hate most of these cursed Necrons. The hotkey for the scanner pulse is different than the cursed ability of... Hold that thought. I tried to do a scanner pulse and I used call to arms instead, is what I'm trying to get at. And it's not pretty convenient. And also I should be trying to board, I suppose. Since that's something I'm kind of neglecting too. Now I do have the ability to, well, I gotta be mindful of a lightning arc, I suppose. And that's not gonna recharge because of Awakening Warriors, is it now? This is just getting weird right now, but... Can I at least do the damage I want? Which I'm probably not gonna get to. I need to do a jump for this. Damn it, I'm miscontrolling this now. I'm not doing nearly enough damage as I would like. And for some reason, oh, group ores screw me over too. My battleship turned the wrong goddamn way. So I'm probably gonna lose this just because of like the health attrition damage, and all that, because of the Karn battleship. So that's a little unfortunate. And I should be using the Star Pulse, but then suddenly the fires are a lot more impactful there, but there's a lot of things I did wrong there, dang it. I should have been boarding a little more proactively. And it's really the boarding there, I suppose. And again, wasn't really paying attention to what these ships even were. So there's all sorts of things that went wrong in this exchange. It had promise at first, but then I got my group ore all messed up. It was supposed to turn downwards, and for some reason it turned up into the lightning arc. And as a result, I messed up my own lightning link as well because of that. So that was inconvenient timing. You could tell the group order is kind of in effect because there was a move order on my other cruiser at the time when I was trying to move it downward. So that's not the test run we wanted, sadly. Alright, Space Marines. This is actually going to work pretty well for the Particle Whips, although there's still a lot of boarding damage we're going to have to contend with here. Possibly. It just depends what they're utilizing, I guess. Since I don't think I recognize Emperor Penguins anywhere, it could be as a result of the Black Friday sale. That's always a possibility. Either way, the Lances could do well here at breaching armor, and maybe getting some quick critical hits, at least on cruisers, but at the same time it's only a 10% critical hit chance, but with 12 of them all striking potentially at the same time, that could strike and do some form of damage. Although, Disruption Overcharge again is that predicament. There's not really any use for any of my stances, or at least they don't help me very much outside of the possibility of reload stance. And then, what other alternatives do I have here? If they're using Disruption Overcharge, Residual Absorption's not helpful. Extra range on... This doesn't really help me, because sure, my Lances have the same range as a Lightning Strike with this upgrade, but I don't really do damage to shields to be able to do the Lightning Strikes. Something like this would be great against Necrons, which maybe have been something I consider using to get that long-range boarding in and allow me to freely harass. Lightning Shroud's no point. Extra health on frigates, that's a bit of a unique upgrade, but I don't know how valuable it is. I can't really think of much besides additional, protection to asteroid fields, so maybe I can use them more as like a defensive point. And they do give like an accuracy penalty to my opponent. Only problem is I'm likely going to be running and avoiding them a lot, just because of the potential they have for their boarding damage. So I don't think that's going to work for me. We'll stick what we got here. That's something I'm going to have to theory craft in. If I had to guess, we're looking at... Well, I want to say 2 battleships, but the formation's too clumped up for that. And they have armor-piercing ammo. Alright, there, that makes it a little more normal. And we're seeing 5 cruisers. What I would argue to be 5 cruisers at least, so... Alright, that explains why. They're subbing out one of the frigates for... or one of the cruisers for a handful of frigates. And thankfully, I'm really well equipped against torpedoes, or at least the boring torpedoes that these hunters have to offer. Never mind how quickly I can kill them too. And sending these doom scythes not going to be helpful because of the gas cloud here. They're just going to conceal themselves before I get into range. Which I guess is why these guys are going to be going up there. And if possible, maybe the Dirge can grab this point. Doesn't look like it though. Alright, we have a fighter bay. And I almost hit the wrong button again, go figure. I thought I had those cruisers moving. Silly me, but I could use this to my advantage some. Sure, I'm burning the jump, but I'm still out of range, and I do have the means to deal with their boring torpedoes incredibly well. Which apparently, they're taking the bait quite well. Oh no, they're actually going after my frigates, shockingly. I don't know why you're going after my frigates, but okay. Now, let's try and take evasive maneuvers here.
Inferior vessel sighted. I serve your glory.
I do have cold arms here that will preserve. Of course, I just now realized they're attacking the cruiser with that set. Only 4 boring results.
What is your command?
Can I dodge this? There.
The enemy has
And you
seized
should
a
conceal
strategic
yourself in a
area.
moment, hopefully.
As you command.
And you are able to scanner pulse these guys.
Inferior vessel sighted.
There. The first salvo of torpedoes dealt with, and I don't... Well, actually, I do have doom scythes. Why not just take advantage of that, I guess. You conceal yourself again. You only took very light boring damage.
Inevitable.
And see if we burn... Well, they're... Clearly my opponent's hiding the gas cloud, so... Can I jump with everything? Yes, I can. This may be a little bit overcommittal. But now they're not going to benefit from the said gas cloud. Now, engines destroyed there. Now, gotta watch for star pulsing. There, that destroyed 1 boring salvo there. Keep that in mind. So that's helpful in that regard. And I didn't even need to use the Star Pulse wave there. That's kind of a flaw. I made a mistake in that regard because of that. There. Plasbomb might kill their cruiser at the same time. And I don't want to use a lightning link. And that cruiser should be dead, and we are concealed right now. And that is going to take a lot more boring damage. Sadly, all my components are getting killed because they're boring. So I like to think it's going well, but that could change at a moment's notice. And I shouldn't have turned off the Awakening Warrior. Alright, get into cover. Regenerate. 70 seconds till I can regenerate some of my components. So keep that in mind. And 3 of them have no engines, or at least are in all sorts of trouble, which can be pretty good, but I still have Star Pulse Wave, 6 seconds. Actually, I could jump right now. That works out well there, although everything is kind of getting spread out. That's not doing the damage I want, is it? As much as I would have liked that to have destroyed the flagship, it's not happening. Just too close. Not doing enough. Although we do get the board and maybe kill off this one cruiser as a bonus. Now get the cruisers, frigates in here to kind of reactivate this quickly. Now where's my other cruiser? currently on burning retros, isn't it? So that the flagship's about to die. I should be able to board the flagship in a moment, and I can dodge that. Actually, I just want to blow them up because all their engines are destroyed. The flagship can stay. This may potentially deal with 3 of their ships. Alright. That works out. I just gotta be mindful of boring damage because they do have Honor the Chapter for situations like this. You know, I have no crew on this one here, so gotta keep that in mind. Kill this one cruiser. And I gotta be yeah, I'm about to... This is the last ship with crew, isn't it? Kinda want to reactivate this ship. Ah, dang it, that was the wrong choice, wasn't it? I want to reactivate because maybe it would have been able to reactivate the crew. Because right now, this ship's gonna lose its crew. And they should have no more boring torpedoes available. Can I at least do the damage necessary? Probably not. Because I don't have access to my Tesseract. I don't have access to any of my abilities to kind of kill this quickly. And I messed up horribly on the Lightning Arc. So that should conceal itself. 30 seconds and then its crew could hopefully be reactivated. This thing needs to die, it goes without saying. And they're gonna try and kill this frigate for that reason alone. And it does have the armor potential, so they could maybe do it. And boring's kind of pointless, the sad fact is, but I have like no crew left. And I can't regenerate my components for like another 3 minutes too. There, that worked out well. Although, the torpedoes are gone. I kind of want to self-destruct this thing. Can I at least kill the cruiser? That's the most important thing. We're really close. And I do have all my particle whips, but just no abilities to kind of utilize it. No, don't group order me again, you cursed thing. I saw that group order and it almost screwed me over just because of the arc it would have put me on. Now, if they have no boring torpedoes, this is over. Although, I'm literally down to 1 crew. Although, reactive hull ship does regenerate my crew. That's something I failed to consider. Oh, man. Damn. Well, that was a damn lucky break for them. And yeah, that was an oversight, wasn't it? Because before, Necrons automatically regenerated crew every minute. And I failed to consider that. That would have helped me a ton in that regard. Well, what a way to ruin that ending, huh? Okay. Now I'm feeling bitter after that last loss, but it's an important learning experience just because of regenerating the crew. It's a small little incremental increase, especially since, like I said before, reload doesn't offer a whole lot, and I overlooked my regeneration simply because I kind of assumed they were equipped with Disruption Overcharge, and honestly I never did even look to see what upgrades they were utilizing, which still would have helped them quite a bit in maybe doing damage, but yeah. The only upgrade outside of when I'm dealing with a Disruption Overcharge is really the reactive hull shift, and damn it, that's unfortunate that I overlooked that fact. Because again, it's like I said, this used to be not the troop regeneration used to not be tied to the stance itself, but it was only on like every minute, I think, is when you recovered crew. And the reason I didn't really like or consider Resurrection Orb is you have to at least lose a third of your crew first for this to even take effect. And it's on a 3-minute cooldown, no less. So in most situations, I'm only regenerating 3 troops and not like the 9 or more that you would normally expect. At least. But at least my opponent isn't utilizing the Disruption Overcharge here, so maybe... Actually, I'll just stick with Reload for a slightly faster inertialess drive. And then we'll see. Well, I'll just have to make a note about changes stances, basically. Actually, let the Dirge go in there, and then these, well, these are the Dirge. The Jackal will grab that point. The Dirges will go forward and scan, because they have the best movement in the game, as far as frigates are concerned. So they're going to get up there and spot for me relatively well. Now, as far as upgrades, I never did even look at my upgrades in general. Which, Scarab Swarm could have been useful there just for killing things faster. And it's just a shame the Lightning Link didn't do what I wanted of it. Either way. Now that I'm actually remembering my skills, let's at least try for something that works towards that. Still a question what we're up against. We're seeing 3 ships, so 3 Emperors maybe. As odd as it may sound. I'm gonna wait until they get through the gas cloud. Well, they have multiple gas clouds to conceal themselves, so my fighters are not very helpful. Then, what else? Not really a whole lot. I should probably realistically just jump aggressively to try and maybe get to center point, because these things aren't moving very fast, or they're not moving. They're just moving now at least, so I should try to take advantage of this momentum and the reload, being able to recharge my inertialess drive some. Alright, so this is probably a
strategic area.
Let's see, I want to say less experienced opponent, because normally you can use frigates pretty well to kind of get vision for me. Especially if only like 3 cruisers. Okay, this looks more like what I was expecting. So maybe 5 Overlords is a possibility here. 5 Overlords, 5 Grand Cruisers, who knows. We'll have them scanned in a moment, and I gotta keep tabs on my range. And I am identified. Well, that got murdered quickly, didn't it? That Cobra didn't know what hit it. And those were cruisers. One of the which is an Apocalypse. Huh, interesting. We have... Okay, Lunars. For a moment I thought they were maybe Armageddons. And that's an Oberon. Okay, for some reason I thought that was an Apocalypse. Now let's just turn around, get these frigates kind of to safety. Oh. Let's see if my frigates can do something about that light cruiser there. Says I'm getting some good hits on this Grand Cruiser already, good god. And the further away I am, the less accurate their shots, and hopefully they won't hit me at all. Especially since these Lunars don't have the best of range. And I wish there kind of was a hotkey because for this Star Pulse wave, because I just missed out on opportunity for my Star Pulse. I just missed an opportunity to destroy those bombers is what I'm trying to say. No upgrades on this. Alright, so it is a less experienced opponent. Now it's time to regenerate the hull. And this is gonna hurt like hell apparently. Because this Grand Cruiser is taking a big beating. I want to save my boring for something that's probably going to live a little bit longer the next few minutes, but... Because if this Oberon gets in close, then I can board that. So... Engines destroyed, let's keep that in mind. The only problem is that's going to be short-lived until this cruiser gets some protection from another ship.
Yes, my liege.
No, there's the group order taking effect again. I saw it there. For a briefest of damn moments, I saw the damn group order kick in. And I think my opponent's ships are kind of doing the same. Maybe, I don't know what to tell you.
Probability slipping.
Oh, you just rammed my frigate, did ya? And they probably hit him with torpedoes. Oh no, they had lances. It just was rammed to death, basically. And I should be prioritizing the engines on this thing. Because I don't expect the frigates to win or kill it, but... Star Pulse is destroyed. Their bombers are denied.
You have accumulated 25%
And
of strategic
if
points.
I need to see about killing that Grand Cruiser in a moment. Lunars, they're boosting. I want... Yeah, I might as well get in close and start boring this Oberon. If possible. And see about killing the Grand Cruiser in the process. I hate to break it to you, but I applaud you for getting all your skills upgrade, but the boring's gonna cancel it out really quickly. Now, just gotta get in range of the Grand Cruiser and try and kill it off as well. Oh, we lost the light frigate, or the light cruiser. I kind of set them autopilot, it didn't amount to much. I am taking heavy boring. Well, it's probably not as heavy to... It probably wasn't heavy enough boring to really justify Awakening Warriors, but it's there nonetheless. I just gotta kill this Grand Cruiser quickly.
I serve your glory.
Kill the cursed thing.
There will be no
It's taking a... Well, it's taking longer than necessary, though. I should have let it ram me with that said.
have breached the enemy vessel.
That might have helped. Because now we're dealing with the Lunars here, and this thing's still alive.
Motive units fully engaged.
Well, that was conveniently timed. This thing's gonna get rammed to horrible oblivion, but...
Points. The enemy has
Eh,
accumulated 25%
I'm trying to
of
figure out,
strategic
did you
points.
mutiny or not? I'm not seeing a mutiny icon on you. Which is why I'm honestly wondering.
As you command.
And we know where our light cruiser friend went. Even though I didn't really do much... Put much effort into controlling it, I won't lie, my frigates. But Stasis Bomb might keep it honest for a bit. Alright, so I'm not going to jinx it by saying we probably won, because we saw what happened last time against Space Marines. That's likely not the case. But let's at least try finish this off. Okay, Mission Dissipator is what the other upgrade was. Alright. There, that's Mutiny. That's still, well, it still has its deck, so they can just easily kill the crew. And actually, let's just jump in. Well, that wasn't the flagship for one. This is the flagship. Now let's kill them properly. See them off in style, shall we? In a nice green mist of nanomachines. Which they're nanomachines being... It's nanomachines being projected by something that's like 8 miles long, or something roughly to that effect. And we can still see the billions of nanomachines that are swarming these things and killing them in stunning fashion. Well, apparently they are ramming my frigates to death, but that thing took a lot of damage. I don't know it really won the battle. Never mind even the war it's about to lose anyway. I just sadly did not get the engine critical hit I would have liked to kind of pin this thing down. Realistically, I probably should have just destroyed the deck, but both those you think would have worked out well. Either way. No, you're not ramming me. Not this time. Toro, Toro! I'm just gonna dodge out of the way. I got 400 movement speed. Let's see you hit this. You gotta be out of combustion gauge at this point, right? remember how much he burnt of that cursed, I don't even know if you use summary execution, but I know you just burnt emergency repairs, so clearly you did not recharge your boosters, dang it. I'm not giving you this one victory of destroying my frigates. It's not happening. If I can help it. No, it may be mutiny, but you're still not gonna kill it. And I'm not, well... Wow, I didn't realize it would kill, like, a third of my crew and then some, but... Alright. That was just a little bit of silliness. The particle whips worked well, but... we were dealing with a less experienced opponent, it seemed like. And sadly the micro warp jump did not work to their advantage. But they did have all their skills unlocked either way, so... I don't know what to really make of that battle. Since realistically, at least against Imperial Navy, they only have lances to do good damage to me or armor-piercing ammo, which in theory I can deal with pretty well just because of inertialess drive just allow me to either jump behind them if they overcommit on boosters, or just jump away outside of their radius or range for the armor-piercing ammo. What I need to figure out is how to fine-tune it to kind of do damage constantly, because I feel like maybe if I played a little more of a passive game with in the first match against Necron, I probably would have been perfectly fine. Just play the objective game, just take the free damage that I got. After all, I can't remember if I got any critical hits that were noteworthy, but the first few minutes of the Necron mirror match were kind of in my advantage. I just lost a lot of it due to brute force and not utilizing my boarding the best.